because everything you have ever lost is in here. Everything you have ever lost is in here. How the lines on your face were written, how you could not afford your own face, how your face was a battlefield, deserted, a war between parents, how your pockets were tunnels and you were lost in them. How no one came, even though you called all night. How your call was the sound of something breaking. How your teeth were tower blocks in which only white ghosts lived. How your skin was a lost birth certificate. How your birth certificate was proof of your death. How they stole your smile to store on a high supermarket shelf. How the industry unmade you. How your tongue was a conveyor belt and you could not make the words fast enough. How your soul was kept well fed in a zoo. How the zoo was a library of lost souls. How the souls stared unblinking from behind glass enclosures. How the glass was etched with the hieroglyphics of rage. How you made an origami figure of a small boy staring. How some boys cry with their fists. How some boys hang themselves from the thin edges of their smiles. How they told you that white was the color that contained all others. How your skin became a color that contained you. How skin becomes insignia. How they sold black back to you at inflated prices. How rainbows are portents. How rainbows are borders. How you traveled to the other side of the rainbow and met a stranger traveling back the way you had come. How you are a stranger. How you look like a stranger. How your ancestors will be born after you. Everything you have ever lost is in here. How they spat at you. And the saliva became a sea, and you sailed easily across it to the other side of your heart. How your heart was a tectonic plate. How your heart rubbed, how it drifted apart. How other people set up home on the opposite side of your heart to you. How they sent smoke signals. How their words turned to ash and blew away. How your voice was thin ice you were afraid to walk across. How silence was a song your enemy taught you. How the last bus home took you to another man's city. How home keeps moving. How you knocked on the door of your home and a stranger answered. How they gentrified your streets. How your stages were gentrified. How you were fought out of your own mouth. How your father lives in your face and nowhere else. How you were robbed by a high court judge. How judges' wigs were mushroom clouds floating over the horizon. How your dreams were trained to walk in tight circles. How your dreams were dogs. How your father was a bomb and your mother rich in minerals. How you were dead. How you were dead. And death brought you flowers and you said, thank you, but you meant fuck you. How death waited outside all night. How pebbles against windows sound like Aleppo. How your mouth was a tornado that drew the whole town to it. Everything you have ever lost is in here. When you could have let love sit beside you on a broken back sofa and change the channels. When maybe one hand was all that was required. When perhaps if you'd placed your palm prints together, you might have found that they made an atlas that led you out of here. When love could have woken you, when you could have fallen, and through falling, uncovered the archaeology of your wings. When after the grey apocalypse that no one else noticed, you might have realized that trees hold hands beneath the earth. How you learned to hold hands beneath the earth. Everything you have ever lost is in here. Here is the music of your brother breathing. Here is the shape of your mother. Here is the shadow that abandoned you. Here is your unfound song. Here is the legend of your lost tongue. Here are your teeth, your brittle, your bone. Everything you have ever lost is in here. And it's waiting to come home. Thank you.